Hey guys, Cole here with Nick
Hey guys, what's going on?
with some more Ralliart content. Today is a huge day for me. We're actually going to be installing the Evo 10 intercooler and intercooler piping. So, really excited about this. I've been waiting a couple weeks to get this done. So we're ready to go. It's pretty early here, like around 8 o'clock. We're hoping to get this done in a couple hours, but as you know how cars work, guys, typically things don't go according to plan. So Nick knows from experience. So basically, we're starting it as early as possible because this car is my daily, and we have to get it done in at least 1 or 2 days. We don't really have much time in between just because I do have to work during the week, but we'll get it done. I'm sure it'll be fine. We're gonna try really hard not to break anything. No guarantees. But right now before we head out and grab the parts to get this install ready here, we're actually going to hit up the Taco Bell breakfast because we're starving. But yeah, we'll come back to you in about an hour or so when we get this install started, and we'll go from start to finish with you. So we'll see you in a bit.
Have a good one.
Alright guys, so we finally got here. Everything's in place. Everything looks good. I have Nick as my handyman over here. But real quick before we get started with the project, I'll just show you what I did since we last talked. I actually ended up painting the intercooler black on the face with red on the sides, and the intercooler piping red. I think it looks pretty good. It should match the scheme of the car well. So everything looks good. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started here. Alright guys, so what you'll need for this project, you'll need a ratchet with an extension. You'll need an 8, a 10, and a 12 millimeter socket. You'll also need a flathead and a Phillips head, screwdriver, and a stubby Phillips head will be a big help for you with this project. And also, if you have a set of ratchet wrenches, they will help a lot with this project as well. So we'll go ahead and jack up the car, and then we'll come back. Alright guys, first thing that you have to do to remove the bumper, you'll actually have to remove all of the pop clips and bolts on the top side. So I'll go ahead and show you that now. There are 2 pop clips in the intake, and after you remove those, you'll actually be able to just pull this right out. Super easy. So we'll go ahead and set that off to the side. Then after removing that, you'll have 1, 2, 3 pop clips in total to remove this plate. So after I remove that, we'll go ahead and come back and we'll show you the next step. Alright, now that you've removed those pop clips, this will actually just pull out really easy. Just comes out. We'll go ahead and set it aside. And Nick and I actually didn't realize this prior to this install, but it looks like someone else has actually removed this previously and broke off a few of these bolts. But the ones that you'll have to remove, let me grab the flashlight. So you have one here, then if you go down in here, that one snapped off too, unfortunately, but you'll have to remove that one, this one here, and this one here. And that's all you'll have to do for the top side. We'll actually go ahead and go to the side of the car and I'll show you what you need to do here. So in the fender well here, you'll have 1 pop clip, 2 pop clips, and then you'll need a 10 millimeter to get this bolt up in here.
Louie, you're getting in the way.
And then after that, you'll have to go to the underneath of the car and remove. There's a pop clip here, here, And then there's actually 4 bolts underneath there. Unfortunately, these ones are really rusty, so they're probably going to snap off. But we'll see what happens, and we'll come back to you after we do that. Alright guys, there was one other bolt that I forgot to mention. Actually 2 bolts. If you come down here, where in the grill here, there's actually 2 bolts that have to come out. And I completely forgot about it when I was talking to you guys. So I'll remove those and then we'll come back and we'll actually pull the bumper off. Alright guys, after a lot of fighting with it, we finally got the bumper off. One thing, we'll go to the side and we'll show you what happened there. So there's some teeth that go into the side here. How you'll actually remove the bumper, you'll have to pick up on the bumper and pull out. It's not going to be very easy to get that out, so don't be afraid to pull on it pretty hard. And the noise that the bumper makes when it pops out is kind of startling if you've never done this before. We thought we broke something, but we didn't. We're all good. But that's all taken care of. Now we'll show you what to do up top to start the preparation of removing the intercooler and the lower intercooler pipe. First one thing you will have to remove, there is a band clamp back here that connects the turbo outlet to the upper intercooler pipe. I recommend using a stubby screwdriver for that because there's not a lot of space back there. Then you'll come back up here. You'll have to remove this band clamp here, and also there's 2 band clamps here and down here. And then after you get all that done, you will have to remove the battery. So you'll just have to take these tie downs and unbolt those and then pull the battery out. And also on the blow off valve piping, you'll have 1 band clamp here and also 1 band clamp down here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it very good, but there is another one down there. Lastly, you will have to also remove this bolt that I'm showing you here to start the process of removing the lower intercooler pipe. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling this apart here. Then we'll come back after we remove all this stuff. Alright, we got most of the parts removed. We have the blow-off valve pipe out, battery, and we were working on the upper intercooler pipe, and I forgot to mention one other thing that you will have to remove. You'll actually have to take out these 2 bolts here and here, to get this upper intercooler pipe off. So after that point, we'll come back again after we remove all this stuff, and we'll start working on the lower intercooler pipe section. Okay, one more thing in the top, guys, and then we'll start working on the lower intercooler piping. You will need to remove, there is 1 T-bolt here on this throttle body. You'll have to remove that before any of this stuff will come free. So I already removed it, but we'll move on to the next scene here in a second. I'll come back to you in just a moment. Alright guys, so we ran into a little bit of trouble when we were removing the intercooler. If you come down here, where it's mounted in the bottom, we actually, both bolts broke off. You know, living in northwestern PA where salt is a thing, and this is my daily driver, they just kind of came right off. But it's alright, we just spent a couple hours drilling, trying to get it out, and I think we've got it ready. So we're going to continue the removal of the lower intercooler pipe. So we're going to move over to the next step that you need to do. So on this transmission cooler air box, there's actually 3 pop clips. 1 here, there's 1 back in here, and then there's also 1 here. So you're going to just pop them out. We already removed them to make it easier, and then you just remove it. From there, there's 2 more bolts that you'll have to remove off the lower intercooler pipes. There's one here, and then there's one, it's really hard to see, but it is back, it's back, let me find it here. Back, it's pretty far back, it's mounted up to this hose here for the radiator. So we're going to go ahead and take those off and we'll come back to you.
Good.
Alright, so before we start to finagle the pipes up and through, I know that this is going to be the worst part of this entire thing. I just wanted to show you guys the difference in size between the Ralliart's intercooler and the Evo 10s. I mean, as you can see, you put them side by side, it's definitely at least twice as big. So, looks definitely like it's going to do a lot better of a job cooling, but we're going to get back to it. We'll come back in probably an hour or so, and we'll show you what we've done. Well, guys, we finally got it on, all the pipes on. It did take us a while. We did have to go to work for a little bit, but it's now, like 2 o'clock in the morning. Got the pipes on. I'll give you just a quick overview of what it looks like here. They are kind of dirty. I'll go ahead and clean them after this video. And I'll show you the intercooler. And my dog is trying to attack me. Alright. But it looks good. Honestly, I would say that if you live in northwestern PA or any of the states that have a lot of salt, you might want to be careful with this install, especially if it's your daily driver. But realistically, if you have 2 people, it's not that bad of an install. It's just getting that lower intercooler pipe up through is super difficult. And by yourself, it probably would take an hour. But luckily, we had 2 people, so the lower intercooler pipe was the least of our problems. Everything else was the major issues. Now we're going to go ahead and put it back together, make sure there's no boost leaks anywhere, and we'll give it a test drive, and we'll come back to you in the next couple of days. Hey guys, what's going on? It's been about a week since Nick and I completed the Evo 10 intercooler and intercooler piping install, and so far everything's looking good. Take a look here, you can see it's a little bit buggy right now, but looks good. And if you take a look in there, you can see the Ultimate Racing coupling, and if you look really close in here, you can also see the other one peeking through the grill. I did decide to leave the bottom grill off just to show off the intercooler a little bit, but probably in the next few weeks when I drop the bumper again, I will put the grill back in just to protect the intercooler a little bit. And another thing that I was really sad about when I did this intercooler install, I was looking to plastidip the ring around the edge. I mean, you can see that time has finally worn it down, so it needs refreshed. I was going to take that ring off, however, I didn't have time, but everything's looking good so far. If you take a peek in here, you can see piping's fitting up nicely, and the only issue I did have was this tray here. When I went to put it back on, it was sitting kind of funny, like right in this area, but it's looking good now, so I'm not too worried about it. I kind of putted around for about a week anyway, just to make sure that everything was tight and there wasn't going to be any couplings popping off or anything, but everything's good. I peaked out at like 21 pounds of boost, so it didn't pop off then, so I'm not really too worried about it. I'll keep an eye on it for the next few weeks. But other than that, everything looks great. I'm really happy with it. The build's coming along. And actually, in the next couple of weeks, I will be revealing some more stuff that I'm going to be doing this summer to the Ralliart, so stay tuned. And guys, if you enjoyed this video today, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Car Talks with Cole. And if you guys have any questions about my build or comments, or I also, with my Car Talks channel, do some car reviews. So if you guys have a car you want me to review, go ahead and throw that in the comments below as well. And as always, guys, have a great day.